Hello and welcome back to the Lua Learning Series. In this video, I'll be going over if statements. The three main things that if statements do is detect if one, many, or a certain range of things are true. So let's just create a part so I can explain what I mean, and then create a script inside of the part. Okay, delete the line that's in there. Okay, let's have it check if the transparency is like 0.5. So let's set the transparency of the part in the properties menu here to 0.5, and then let's start writing the if statement. So if script dot parent dot transparency, so if the part's transparency is equal to 0.5, if I can type, if the transparency is equal to 0.5, then print part is half transparent, or whatever. Remember to make this a string as well, so it knows it's separate from the code. This double equal sign right here is comparing two values instead of assigning them. Double equal sign is checking, regular equal sign is assigning. Okay, so let's just run the game and see if it starts. And it prints, so you can see that the part is half transparent. And then if we stop the game and then change the transparency to something like 0.6, it doesn't print anything, because the if statement, whatever's in here, isn't true. Checking if one property is true from many can be done with an or. So we have this line here, script.transparency. So if the part is half transparent, then do this, or script.parent can collide equals true is equal to true. See, I made a mistake. Actually, we should probably make a variable for the part, so we can do local part equals script.parent, and then we can replace script.parent here with part, so that's easier to read. There we go. Okay. Now this code will run if the transparency is at half or if the can collide is true. So currently the transparency isn't at half, but the can collide is on. And it runs, which is good. It saw that transparency wasn't true, but the can collide was. So it ran the code anyway. And then, of course, if you turn the can collide off and then the transparency is still set to that, the code doesn't run. If you want both of these checks to come back as true, then instead of using an or, we can use an and. So you can see that now, because the transparency is at 0.6 instead of 0.5, like we specified there, if we try to run it, it won't print anything. But if we set this back to what it was supposed to be, which is 0.5, and since the can collide is on, there we go, it prints our message. Okay, also, if we're comparing a number like we're doing with transparency, we can use greater than and less than and is equal to signs. If the part transparency is more than 0.5, then it'll execute the code. If you set it to something really, really small, like 0.501, it'll still execute the code because it's technically still over 0.5. You can also do greater than or equal to. So this executes the code if the transparency is at 0.5 or if it's larger than 0.5. This works for the less than symbol as well. Like I said in my previous video, you'd probably never have to do this in one of your games, but it's just easier to understand when it's simple like this. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.